I'm going through your phone calls right now on Ebola. And then CIA insider warned of Ebola false flag in September. Former case officer predicted outbreak in U.S. 2 weeks before Dallas case. Well, he said he was being told by sources, actually. He joins us tomorrow, live, on the Tuesday, 7th of October, 2014 transmission. And again, he came highly recommended from Colonel Schaefer. He said, we don't know what's really going on. Interview this guy. He's out of the government. And he just came on and just false flag at the Boston bombing, false flag at Sandy Hook, which we already know, but he was detailing it. And they're going, and the word he's getting is they're going to launch a Ebola simulant false flag. And then 3 weeks later it happens. Just unbelievable. So he'll be joining us tomorrow. And the reason you're seeing more of this is people in the government are done playing games. I'm going to say this again. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs, well, I'm not lionizing, but he did it. Last year went to Obama and said there's going to be a mutiny in the military. We're not going to openly back al-Qaeda against Syria. Don't do it. The British military went this weekend to Parliament, their chairman of the Joint Chiefs, their heads, and said, do not fund radical Islam anymore. Okay, we're done. The public knows about it. We don't want to be part of it. No. See, there's an open decloaking happening right now where the establishment is basically raising its skirt and showing us what's under there, trying to sell us on the fact that it's apple pie, and it isn't. It's a dead horse, basically. People don't want this. People don't want to openly join with evil. As corrupt as the West is, but the sickos that run things just really have a desire to do this. And all they're going to get is big trigger events against them. The harder they push, the more pushback they're going to get. It doesn't matter if they've got half the public drooling, talking about their favorite sitcom or sports center. It doesn't matter. If you've got 10% of the public knows what's going on, it's game over. We've got way past that. We got it where it counts. People are sick of it. Wild man in Texas, go ahead and finish your point up about Ebola.
Yes, sir. As I was saying, I was watching Paul Joseph Watson and David Knight last week, and they also said that somebody had warned or said that it would hit the United States in October. And I don't remember how that was, but at any rate, on the other side of that coin, I'm thinking with the borders being open and now all the airlines coming in here and everything else, you don't get some of them nutbags over there, ISIS, contracting the disease and just sending it over here as another way to get it.
Well, that's what people have been saying for months, and Geraldo Rivera said it's racist if you say that. No, that's what's going on. And undoubtedly, you've got these countries collapsing now, so they're going to have people like this guy that came here with Ebola trying to get here. And Obama and the CDC's answer is, no, we're not going to stop those flights. So they are directly to blame when it happens, and they are going to be held accountable. I thank you so much for your call. Truth Raider in Oregon, you're on the air.
Hello, my friend Alex. I have to say I apologize. And why I say that is because, I know you don't like to be thanked. But thank you for putting me up on your YouTube channel. I sure took a terrific amount of heat, but it was well worth it.
Okay, man, that's great. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, this is it. This is I predicted the Ebola outbreak coming in the fall. But this is why they're doing it. It's a dirty 4-letter F word called fear. Fear. It's exactly what they want people to be. It's unsafe, feeling of insecure, and in fear.
That's right. So while they rob the Treasury and overturn the Constitution Bill of Rights, we're busy worried about Ebola. Great point. Let's talk to another caller here now. Let's talk to Shane in Pennsylvania. You're on the air.
Hello, Alex.
Yes.
I love you, brother. Quick question, quick comment. You've been doing this a long time. You're pretty good at reading in between the lines and stuff. What's your opinion on the Ebola, Alex? Do you think, really, do you think false flag or do you think red flag?
Undoubtedly, they have souped up Ebola at labs that the West has over there, that we know they admittedly have. They've released it right on time as Monsanto and others are getting their Ebola vaccine ready with Bill and Melinda Gates. And bare minimum, they've opened the door to bring in the patients and let people fly in, hoping it spreads, thinking we're so dumb that the ruling class won't get in trouble for what they've clearly done. So if you knew that a grizzly bear was killing everybody that tried to camp out at a certain spot, and you took your little kids out there and chained them up to a tree at night, you would be an accomplice to their death, and it'd be murder one, premeditated murder. And so by opening the borders up, by letting the flights come in, by not hazmating anything for days, they are aiding and abetting this at the CDC. So it is a false flag. Whether they made the crisis or opened the door for it, they aren't letting it go to waste. They are aiding and abetting it, and so they are murder one. They are murder one. When Americans die from this, they are murder one. And it is economic sabotage against industry. The globalists are going to make a bunch of money out of the response to it. It's just a new war that they can manage like a black hole and feed our tax money into.
I agree.
Just like lawyers will have a divorce going and will drain both sides in it. It's just like the Rothschilds would fund both sides of a war. The globalists manipulate people off against each other, divide and conquer, and it's what's happening right now. What do you think's behind it?
Well, I think it's a false flag, but I don't know. Earlier you had mentioned about a big pharma grab for money, vaccine thing. I'm thinking maybe that's the route they're going.
Well, they always allow something to happen or actually orchestrate it if it helps them on a bunch of fronts. And this will bring in medical tyranny, hundreds of billions in vaccine sales of the next decade, big political diversion, expansion of Obamacare as a federalized FEMA. It just helps them on so many fronts if they can politically get away with it. And they don't care even if we impeach Obama over it. So what? The special interests will get what they want. Again, Boehner won't repeal Obamacare. We put up with that. Why not bring Ebola in here? Thank you so much for the call. Lab Rat in Virginia, you're on the air.
Alex, it's really good to talk to you again. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Good to talk to you, brother.
Outstanding. Listen, I got a couple things, and I got a DNA, so I'll finish up with the DNA, whatever, I forget what the DNA Force super story for you. But I absolutely agree 100%. My sister is she's a studying epidemiologist, and she's done internships and friends with the CDC. Their protocols are absolutely 100% being ignored. Everyone from Dew to Biggs to every single one of your excellent reporters knows that. Look at the quotes that you guys were putting out ahead of time from the World Health Organization and the CDC. They were absolutely apocalyptic. This is going to end the world. I mean, the CDC was losing their hair over this thing. It gets to Dallas, don't worry about it. It's going to be, don't forget about it. It's fine. We got this. We're good. Oh, really? You're good? Go to everybody call your local hospital. Ask to speak to the head nurse. Ask them how many negative pressure rooms they have available, how many beds they've got in negative pressure rooms, because that's what it's going to take when somebody's spewing blood and vomit and feces all over from every orifice. We are not ready, but I agree with you. This is 100%, like everything else, a stand down. I ask your guy tomorrow. This is just a simulation, and they are studying you as much as or more than anybody else because you are at the tip of the spear. You've said it yourself. They want to see who's going to buy what, how the alternative press is going to handle this, how the liberty movement's going to handle it, how the zombies and the sleepers are going to handle it, how the, quote, useless eaters are going to how everybody. This is a study en masse, and they may, you're right, let a few 100,000 go. That's the sad part. But what's
they are wargaming, just like they admit they did with H1N1 that was a simulant, that came out that was a simulant. They are wargaming how we'll respond to a mega pandemic in the future. And this could be a simulant, but it's killing a lot of people in Africa, so whatever it is, it's lethal. Great points. Good to hear from you. I'm going to continue with calls, but right now I want to cover this article. And, guys, will you print me a copy of it, some of the new stories that have broke? Thanks a lot. CIA insider warned of Ebola false flag in September. Former case officer predicted outbreak in U.S. 2 weeks before Dallas case. Former CIA insider Robert David Steele warned during a September 18th appearance on the Alex Jones show that a staged Ebola false flag attack was on the horizon 2 weeks before the first case was confirmed in the United States. We need to add the point that he said he's been told by sources. He's not just speculating. He says he's been told. He's hearing. That's key. Steele, who is now an author and lecturer, previously worked for the Central Intelligence Agency as a clandestine services case officer and also ran as presidential candidate of the Reform Party. They will have another false flag. In fact, that false flag I'm hearing about is a simulated Ebola attack in which they actually use biochemical weapons that dissipate. But then they pretend that it's Ebola and that it has been brought here by Saudi martyrs, said Steele, adding, "We have not reached the end of the false flag line." Still elaborated by warning that the chaos created by a false flag attack could lead to a general strike across America. Steele's website, Public Intelligence Blog, also warned of a false flag Ebola outbreak in the United States almost 2 weeks before the first case of Ebola was confirmed in Dallas. And it goes on. If Ebola virus hits the USA, it will be in this order or probability: a false flag biochemical stand-in; B, volunteers ready in the USA infected by Saudi clandestines; C, white virgins not known by the USA to be associated in any way or combination, that's what they're called in the CIA, as people working for them or cutouts, that are rogue elements in the USA that would be happy to kill citizens for effect. And there are rogue elements among our allies, including the Zionist government of Israel, that would be equally happy to screw the big or great Satan of Saudi Arabia. And it goes on. An individual who said he worked as a first responder and an emergency manager in Texas also called in to the Alex Jones Show on Sunday to assert that the botched response to Ebola outbreak in the United States was on purpose. Well, I don't think, see, he's not asserting it. It doesn't matter if the guy was an emergency manager or not, even though clearly he was. It's in the manuals what the default is. We need to do articles about that. And about how what the caller just said. It's a default stand down. We need to be focusing in on that it is a stand down. Why is there a stand down? Why are the flights being allowed in when nobody else does? Okay, and we're still saying, is it? Is it? No, it is. So let's go ahead and play that clip, a short clip of the Steele interview. The full clip is linked under it as well. Infowars.com, prisonplanet.com. Retweet the story to cause a debate about this. CIA insider warned of Ebola false flag in September. Here it is.
They will have another false flag. In fact, the false flag I'm hearing about is a simulated Ebola attack in which they actually use biochemical weapons that dissipate, but then they pretend that it's Ebola and that it has been brought here by Saudi martyrs. Okay, so no, we have not reached the end of the false flag line. However, what we have reached is, I did my first graduate thesis on predicting revolution, and there's a difference between preconditions of revolution and precipitants. And I have posted a graphic on preconditions of revolution that exist in the USA today. Now, a precipitant is like the Tunisian fruit seller. My preferred precipitant is a soccer mom that tortures herself on the steps of Capitol Hill, and it appears on YouTube. But the bottom line is the next false flag could lead to a general strike across this country.
All right, and again, you can see the full interview at Infowars.com. I'm going to go to break and come back with more of your calls and open phones right into the third hour. The issue isn't even for me the Ebola. I mean, I didn't think it would come here 2 months ago, and then they started bringing in infected people, and I said, that's never been done before. That's against the law. No one's even pointing that out in the news. Clearly, they want a cover, as I said a month and a half ago, a cover for when it does break out. They can blame it on something. And then they let this guy fly in who'd been in the hospital and knew he had Ebola to vomit and spew and go to the hospital here and diarrhea all over the place. And, I mean, undoubtedly he gave it to people. If it's real Ebola and they're saying it is. And then now it's just don't worry about it. You know, go to sleep. Everything's fine. What do you think's going on? Why would government act like this? Why would our border be wide open? Why would Geraldo Rivera say it's racist to not want everybody to have open borders? When clearly this country is under siege. I mean, no one. Other African countries bordering. This is important. Sierra Leone and others have locked down their borders. I mean, our government does whatever is bad. I mean, it really comes down to that. It's so over the top. They have the Dallas police trying to chase down who was around this guy instead of the feds. And this is a federal issue. It's a local issue as well because there's public harm, taking place here. But the main purview is the feds, and they have the giant budget, so they're doing nothing. Just like they ordered the police to stand down at Katrina and cut the police radio towers down and cell phone towers down and let it all collapse so they could then come in and have a bigger crisis and get more funding. Oh, it makes me angry. 800-259-9231. John, Donna, Eric, Marty, Alex, we're all going to get to all your calls coming up. Briefly, I personally, for my immune system, am taking the lung cleanse, lung shield from InfoWars Life 3 times a day, just 3 shots of the mouth and inhale. I personally am taking the DNA Force known to boost your immune system and clean out your cells and do so much more. Just a super cutting edge nutraceutical. The X2 Super Iodine does just supercharge my body, my health, help flush out and clean me out, get my glands in shape. You can read all the actual documentation, see videos breaking it down at InfoWarsLife.com, whether it's Super Male Vitality, Silver Bullet, Colloidal Silver, Oxy Powder. They say 70 or more % of your body's immunity is in your stomach and intestines. Oxy Powder, I'm not even going to just even describe what it does. Nothing flushes you out like this. And wasn't discomforting to me, but it's truly cutting edge. The Oxy Powder by Global Healing Center, discounted at InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139. And your purchase of all the InfoWarsLife.com products funds the very tip of the spear in the InfoWar. So I want to thank you for your support. At InfoWarsStore.com, we have the books, the videos, the high-quality water filters, the Molon Labe Made in America T-shirts to promote the Second Amendment. So shop with the good guys, the white hats, and help us get the word out. We are listener-supported. InfoWarsStore.com. We're going to continue with phone calls. Alex Jones here back live. Joe Biggs, who is our reporter on the ground with Josh Owens up in Dallas, is going to give us his take on what he saw in Dallas at the bottom of the next hour. Again, this is Paul Watson's news story. Apocalypse scenario. Discoverer of Ebola fears virus could mutate. Professor warns of humanitarian catastrophe. What if it does go airborne? And they'll say, sorry, we got to let the planes fly in. And then just everybody starts dying in mass, and they'll probably give Obama a peace prize or something. And if you don't support getting Ebola, you're racist. I'm not even joking at this point. It's getting so insane. Right now, let's continue with your phone calls. John in California, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Alex, the only way to deal with criminals is by force. The political option is off the table. Boehner's not going anywhere. Obama's not going anywhere. You claim that 80 to 90% of the military listen to your program, and there are military officers inside the Pentagon that know about the U.S. equivalent of Operation Valkyrie.
All right, well, let me just be clear for a minute. I'm not saying 80 to 90% of the military listens to my show. I'm saying from what I've seen on the ground and what my other sources have said, 80 to 90% are now awake that our government runs al-Qaeda, that there's a criminal group that's taken over, but they're all compartmentalized and don't know what to do either. They are becoming belligerent, in Congress saying, no, your allies are arming al-Qaeda. No, we don't want to be part of this. The British military is doing the same thing. So those are positive issues. But, I mean, to sit here on air and talk about a military coup, for those that don't know, Operation Valkyrie was a continuity of government program the Nazis had. So they reversed it to try to use it to overthrow Hitler, and it did not work. Here's another problem. Obama is just a puppet. You'd have to remove the entire group of oligarchs, and they run the pension funds, the banks, everything. It's so deep. It has to be a complete cultural revolution, not supporting globalist institutions and moving away from them and just decrying them and not complying. And then they're going to start a physical war and a civil war, but that's better than going the coup route, in my view. Listen, the globalists might blow Obama's head off, and I hope they don't, and turn him into a martyr. Don't think that's not a rabbit in the hat they hadn't been thinking about. Can you imagine they'll use some white supremacist or something they drug up to take the fall? And they'll kill a body double, and Obama will retire to wherever. I mean, he is a pure fake. So I've war gamed this. It's easy to sit back and say, have the military. Tell you got 2 minutes to break. What are you saying?
What I'm saying is that you're right, the oligarchs are entrenched, but we can arrest the entire leadership who are all puppets of them, put them on display, put them on trial, and you may not know this, but Stauffenberg, who led the coup in Nazi Germany, compiled a list of civilians, loyal Germans that could take over. They would hand it over to the civilians to deal with the criminals once Hitler was dead. That's why they failed, because they failed to kill Hitler. We don't want to see anybody get killed. We want them arrested. We want to put them on trial. The only people that can deal with this, and I say we take our chance with the military, because we don't have time. Ebola's on our back. They're going to start another false flag any moment now, and the moment that happens is when the military should move against them.
Well, I'll tell you that that's exactly the type of stuff that's being talked about. And I'm just a radio host trying to analyze this and warn the people. It's way above my head. It's way above everybody's head. And, of course, they brought the Ebola in. Of course, they're trying to spread it. I mean, it's just they're horrible. I mean, we're in the hands of total demons. And the churches are government run, so they won't tell anybody. I mean, we are in so much trouble. Just like those 54 million babies who were in trouble, who were murdered in this country. It's called judgment, folks. And I don't know what we do rather than spread the word. I mean, it's just, we'll be right back. Stay with us. It's so heavy. I mean, reality is so much stranger than fiction. God help us. God forgive us for all we've done. I mean, we are a nation of demons. I mean, let's just be honest. Make no mistake, the organized global crises are being accelerated right now. We're taking your phone calls. Coming up, FBI director warns of Khorasan attack here in the United States by the group you helped create, so we're going to break that down. But right now, let's go to Marty in Texas. Go ahead, you're on the air.
Hi, forever listener, first-time caller. Let me get right to the point. Are we not living in the script of V for Vendetta, except for the one important difference? At least there, they had the vaccine for their false flag pandemic outbreak already ready to go before the dictator was allowed to take power.
You're absolutely right, sir. I hadn't even thought about that since Darren McBreen made that great piece showing V for Vendetta and other films tied into the current Ebola outbreak. That's a great point.
And then next, and the real topic of my call was, what, if anything, can we do about it? Well, what I've done is to start a Facebook community page called Ban Ebola Flights Now. And what I'm doing is aggregating all the real stories from InfoWars, Health Ranger, and other sources, and calling for people to badger their senators and congressmen, not via email, but rather phone calls, overwhelm the the Capitol switchboard and demand that these flights be banned, regardless of the poop that the CDC is spewing. And because they still care about the outcome and their fate from the the upcoming midterm election, they may actually listen if enough people are screaming for it, and at least we can take that much of this matter into our own hands.
Well, very well said, Marty. Why do you in your gut think that they're obviously, there's no debating it, letting Ebola in, trying to spread it? I mean, that's just an absolute fact. How would they try to do that so openly, so arrogantly? What is wrong with them? Or do they know something I don't know?
I think that leads to the second point I wanted to discuss, and I'll try to do it very quickly. I'm sure you're familiar with the phenomenon psychologically of cognitive dissonance.
Yes.
Okay. Well, for those who don't, just quickly, it's people cannot believe that something that they have never experienced could possibly happen, especially when it goes against their belief system or their comfort.
That's right. America has been spared bad stuff for so long. We're like Native Americans that had never experienced smallpox. It wipes us all out. We have no immunity. We have no resistance.
Exactly. And so you take that to the point where just like 9/11, our government couldn't possibly and wouldn't possibly do that. And if you believe that, you must be crazy. Same thing here. How could the government that's here to protect us, just do everything in their power to make sure that we are not only unprotected, but we're overtly exposed?
You know who I feel sorry for is the firefighters, the medical workers, and the police. They are going to be the ones, if this really breaks out, they're going to be wallowing in it. I mean, they are going to be getting it in record numbers just like they have in Africa. Well, I tell you, if I was an EMT or a cop right now, I'd be so angry.
Well, exactly.
Why do the Dallas police have to go track these people down and arrest them? It's not police job to go out and pick up people that have Ebola or may have Ebola. That's guys in hazmat suits.
Exactly.
I mean, this is really dangerous. This is really out of control.
Absolutely. And to think that the poor ambulance driver was not told for 48 hours.
And they didn't even clean it for days after that. Exactly. It's just, it's incredible. Oh, but don't worry. They've got face scanning sensors, in the schools now. It's just unbelievable. Thank you so much for the call. Great points. Alex, Donna, Tom, Eric, and others, your calls are coming up. But first, V for Vendetta, Ebola. Globalist social engineers are not just targeting us with propaganda. They are manipulating our genetics. We are being targeted at every level by estrogen mimickers that lower our testosterone and other hormones and natural compounds that the body needs. After consulting top doctors, nutritionists, pharmacists, and others, we have developed what I believe is the ultimate non-GMO organic super male vitality formula sourced from powerful organic herbs and then concentrated for maximum potency. Super Male Vitality was developed to activate your body's own natural processes instead of using synthetic chemicals. Super Male Vitality by InfoWars Life is so powerful that I only take half the recommended dose. For a limited time, we are offering 15% off Super Male Vitality at InfoWarsLife.com to introduce you to this powerful supplement. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today to secure your Super Male Vitality. InfoWarsLife.com.